A sick dog usually does not look sick at first. Dogs are built to hide weakness. They do not always cry, limp hard, or stop moving when something is wrong. Very often, the first honest clue is much quieter. It is in the walk. One shorter step, one stiff rise, one paw that does not land the same way twice. By the end of this video, you'll know why this works and how to apply it with what you already have. You will be able to watch a single walk and spot 5 dangerous diseases your dog can be trying to show you before the rest of the body catches up. Your dog's walk is such a good warning system because movement is automatic. The body starts protecting a sore joint, a weak leg, a damaged disc, or a failing nerve path before your dog ever acts sick. That compensation changes posture, stride length, balance, and weight bearing. Owners often miss it because the change starts small. A dog still eats, still wags, still wants to follow you. That is what makes Gait so honest. It shows what your dog is trying to hide. The first disease is osteoarthritis. This is the one people dismiss most often. They look at an older dog taking a few stiff steps after a nap and say, "That's just age." What you may see is a dog slow to get up, slow to lie down, and stiff for the first few minutes of a walk, then moving better once the body warms up. That pattern matters. If your dog looks rusty at the start and smoother a little later, that can be a sign of osteoarthritis. It is easy to miss because the dog often improves once moving. Owners think the problem is gone because the walk looks better halfway down the block. It is not gone. The body just loosened enough to keep going. This is one of the clearest examples of a dog working around pain instead of complaining about it. Early veterinary care matters because the longer a painful joint goes unmanaged, the more the body builds bad movement habits around it. Your dog may start shifting weight away from one area and overloading another. If you notice that warm out of it pattern, or your dog hesitates before rising, that is worth a vet visit. The second disease is hip dysplasia. The walk sign many owners remember once they see it is the bunny hop. Both back legs move together instead of in a normal alternating rhythm. You may also notice a swaying rear end, trouble on stairs, or a dog that avoids jumping up even though the mood and energy still seem fine. This can show up in larger breeds, and it can start when a dog is still young. It is easy to miss because some owners think that hopping gait looks cute, or they assume the dog is just excited. Others think a young dog cannot have a serious joint problem. The walk says otherwise. When both back legs move together, the dog may be trying to reduce motion and strain through the hips. The swaying in the rear can be another clue that the back end is not moving with normal strength and comfort. Catching this early matters because the earlier a veterinarian sees the pattern, the earlier they can sort out what is driving it and help protect function. Stairs are often where owners first see the truth. A dog that once took them easily now pauses, resists, or climbs with obvious effort. That is not a personality change. It can be a movement warning. The third disease is a cruciate ligament tear, often called a CCL tear. This one tends to look more sudden. A dog who is walking normally may start limping on one back leg, or may only touch the toes down without truly putting weight through the foot. That toe touch can be easy to overlook if you are only glancing. The paw reaches the ground, so it looks like the leg is being used. But it is not really carrying the body. This is the acute injury in this group, and it often needs surgery. That is why the gait change matters so much. Owners sometimes wait because the dog has brief moments that look better, or because the dog still wants to go outside. Dogs will often keep trying. That does not mean the leg is fine. Sudden limping on one back leg, especially with that light toe touching instead of real weight bearing, is a pattern that needs veterinary attention. The sooner it is checked, the sooner your dog gets a real plan instead of trying to push through an unstable knee. The fourth disease is intervertebral disc disease, or IVDD. This one can look less dramatic than people expect, which makes it dangerous to miss. Watch for a shortened stride, scuffing or dragging of a paw, an arched back, or a dog that does not want to turn. The whole body can look guarded. The dog may move in small, careful steps, as if trying not to shake the spine. What makes IVDD especially serious is that there can be a short window to act. Owners often wait because they do not see a hard limp. But this is not always a joint problem. It can be a disc problem affecting the spine and the signals moving through it. A scuffed nail can become an important clue. So can a dog that suddenly seems stiff in the body rather than sore in one obvious leg. Reluctance to turn is another detail worth noticing. Healthy movement is fluid. When a dog moves like turning the body is risky, pay attention. This is worth urgent veterinary evaluation because early action can make a real difference. The fifth disease is degenerative myelopathy. This is the emotional one because the dog is not hiding pain here. This disease is not painful. That is the hard part. Your dog is not hurting. Your dog is slowly losing control of the back end. The walk signs are dragging the top of a back paw, worn down nails from that dragging, crossing of the back legs, and a slow wobble that gets worse over time. This can be mistaken for normal aging, especially at first. A little stumble, a nail that looks odd, a hind foot that seems late to pick up. Owners may wait because the dog does not cry, and because pain is what most people look for. But degenerative myelopathy does not announce itself with pain. It shows up in coordination. The legs stop placing correctly. The feet scuff. The rear end weaves. As mentioned earlier, the walk tells the truth even when the dog does not act sick. Early recognition matters here for a different reason. It is not about catching pain. It is about recognizing loss of nerve control and getting a veterinarian involved instead of guessing. This is not something to self-diagnose from a worn nail or a funny step. Several conditions can affect the rear legs, and your veterinarian is the one who sorts out what fits and what does not. The key message is this. If your dog's back paws are dragging, if the back legs cross, if the wobble is getting slowly worse, do not dismiss it as just old age because the dog is not complaining. Silence does not mean safety. This is the real heartbreak in canine medicine. The tragedy is not only that a dog is sick, it is that the dog kept walking, kept following you from room to room, kept trying to keep up on the sidewalk, kept doing what dogs do best, staying with you, even as the body was changing underneath them. And all along, the walk was quietly telling the truth. Not the face, not the voice, not the appetite, at least not at first. The walk. That is most painful to understand with degenerative myelopathy. There was no cry to hear because there was no pain to cry from. There was only a slow fading of control, one step at a time. A paw that dragged, a leg that crossed, a wobble that stayed after the walk should have smoothed out. The disease did not shout. It whispered through movement. So here is the good news. You do not need to panic. You need to observe. You now know 5 patterns worth noticing. Stiffness that improves after a few minutes can be a sign of osteoarthritis. A bunny hop, stare reluctance, and a swaying rear can point toward hip dysplasia. Sudden back leg limping with toe touching can signal a cruciate ligament tear. Short steps, paw scuffing, an arched back, and reluctance to turn can fit IVDD. Dragging the top of a back paw, worn nails, crossing legs, and a slow wobble can be signs of degenerative myelopathy. None of these signs, by themselves, are a diagnosis. They are a reason to look closer and a reason to call your veterinarian. That is the right use of this information. Not to treat your dog yourself. Not to decide what disease it is from one walk. Your job is to notice what changed. Your veterinarian's job is to find out why. Watch your dog's next walk with new eyes. Watch the first few steps after rest. Watch the back legs on stairs. Watch whether each paw lands cleanly. Watch whether the body moves freely through a turn. Small movement changes are easy to miss, but once you know what they mean, they are hard to unsee. Your dog will never tell you it is in pain, but the way it walks already is.